So we are going to start now. In our last class, we have seen that the 13C NMR, when we do for particularly decoupled NMR, proton decoupled 13C, we are not able to do integration. Actually, the integrations are not possible for understanding the number of carbons, okay, based on integration. Because you have the same number of carbon of different environment, we find their peak height are different, right? And to understand why the peak heights are getting changed under certain circumstances, we have introduced a new terminology which is known as nuclear Oberhauser effect. Okay, and we just started our discussion, and just sharing again so that you can recapitulate what was the actual fact. Today we'll be discussing more details to understand actually why it does increase the certain peaks at certain environment. Okay, so in nuclear Oberhauser effect, what we have discussed later last day, we find that the proton decoupled spectrum, the 13C spectrum, it has peak intensity is more than the proton coupled spectrum. Okay, the same carbon in proton decoupled will have a higher peak height, okay, than the peak height obtained in the proton coupled experiment. Okay, carbon atoms with hydrogen atoms directly attached are enhanced most. So if the carbon atom is attached with hydrogen, we have seen the more peak height will be there, and that is given by the equation. We call it as nuclear Oberhauser enhancement. Okay, and that can be obtained as according to this equation, where this is, you have gyromagnetic ratio or magnetogyric ratio of the proton in this case. Okay, and this one magnetogyric ratio of the 13C. Okay, because we are observing the peak of 13C, what we are doing in proton decoupled experiment, we are irradiating the proton in such a way that it can easily come to the saturation. Okay, and when it is coming to the saturation, the signal due to proton will be hidden. Okay, or it will be, the decoupled will not be there. I mean, the coupling will not be there. If you go for calculation, we know the magnetogyric ratio of the proton is 267.5, and that of carbon is 67.28. Okay, and if you do the calculation, what we will have is around 2. So the nuclear Oberhauser effect or the enhancement of the peak will be twice of the previous situation, where if you don't have the decoupling. Okay, if you have just the proton coupling experiment. Okay, now definitely since it is the proton which is influencing the peak height of the carbon, the number of proton, if it is increasing, definitely the peak height will be more, and that we have seen also in the spectrum. Now the question is whether the proton has to be always connected with the carbon atom. It is not the case. Actually, the interaction of spin dipole, okay, it operates through the space. So if the carbon and the proton, they are not connected, but they are closer enough in space, that also has a huge impact. Okay, and in that case, the Oberhauser effect, what we'll be observing, is proportional to 1 by r cube. Okay, where r is the distance between the carbon and hydrogen. Okay. Now, why this happens? In that case, we have utilized one terminology named as cross polarization. So signal enhancement due to nuclear Oberhauser effect is an example of cross polarization, in which a polarization of the spin states in one type of nuclei or nucleus causes the polarization of the other nucleus. Okay, so if you look at the proton decoupled 13C spectrum, when the hydrogens in the molecule are irradiated, so how we do the proton decoupled? We are having a separate irradiation technique. Okay, by applying that irradiation to the hydrogen, we are trying to make the hydrogen to go saturation as early as possible. Okay, to hide the impact of hydrogen in the spin, I mean the coupling or the splitting. Okay, now this hydrogen in the molecule are irradiated, so they became saturate. Okay, so they are coming to the saturation point and attain a distribution of spin very different from their equilibrium. So what we are telling here, before irradiation, you have certain distribution of the spin states, right? Some of the nuclei will have the plus half, some of the nuclei will have minus half. Okay. Now when you irradiate quickly to make the saturation, from lower spin state or the ground energy state, the nuclei will jump to the higher energy state to have the equilibrium or the same number of nuclei in that two states. That makes the difference in equilibrium, I mean difference in population will be 0. And if your difference in population is 0, that means that nuclei will be inactive, that we have discussed in our NMR classes. So that is the thing here is mentioned. So your spin states will be different than the equilibrium. So before irradiation, you have certain spin states, okay, at its excited state. And after irradiation, it is changed. So the excited state is having different number of nuclei, okay. So you have a polarization. You have a polarization developed to that particular nuclear system, okay. Now there are more spins. There are more spins that I mean there are more spins that normal in the excited state. Okay, more spin than normal in the excited state. What is meant by here? In normal, whatever at the equilibrium Boltzmann's at room temperature before irradiation, whatever will be the number of nuclei at the excited state will be definitely different than after irradiation. Okay, I'm talking about only the proton now. So proton nuclei number after irradiation in its excited state, okay, higher energy state, will be definitely different than before excitation. So the numbers are different. That means you have the polarization. Now, due to the interaction of the spin dipoles, the spin of the carbon nuclei sense that one. Okay, so carbon nuclei can sense that there has been a change in the spin polarization of the nearby proton. Okay, So what will happen? The spin imbalance of the hydrogen nuclei, okay, will be taken care by the carbon, okay, carbon nuclei. So the carbon nuclei will try to adjust themselves to a new equilibrium state that has more spin in the lower state, okay. So this increase of population, so okay, what happened if you have the carbon nuclei, now it is changing itself and it is trying to increase its population at the lower state. So that will do the excess nuclei amount increasing for the carbon, okay. If your carbon excess nuclei is increasing, that will increase the peak height, okay. And that we will try to understand in a more scientific way. Now if you look at the nucleus, you have plus half rotation, minus half, okay, to spin. I'm just taking the half rotation, okay, spin, plus half and minus half, because we are dealing with the carbon and nitrogen, carbon and hydrogen, okay. Now if you look at here, you have anti-clockwise rotation, so spinning, you have plus half, so you have the north pole at the top side and bottom will be the south pole, and your magnetic dipole moment will be towards this direction. Magnetic dipole, you have the which will be aligned with respect to the applied field, okay. So you are applying the field in this direction, you have the nuclei with plus half spin will have the magnetic moment which is the same directional of the applied field, and the minus half will have the opposite direction that we have earlier discussed. And now what will happen if you have the same directional magnetic moment? That means it will be more stabilized, so that plus half will have the energy lower than the minus half, and that we also understood previously. Now that means you have for one nuclei, if you put it in a magnetic field, it will have two different energy levels, okay. And certain molecule at the room temperature, certain nuclei at the room temperature will be occupying this lower energy state, and the lesser number will be occupying at higher energy state, okay. And that we call as the Boltzmann distribution. Now let us consider the nuclear Oberhauser effect, and to understand the nuclear Oberhauser effect we have to consider two nuclei. Here I have designated as A, which may be the representative of 13C, okay. The colors are same, and here you have the X, another nuclei, okay, that you can think as proton, getting. Now for each nuclei you have two energy states, right? If I have a system where A and X are closer enough, so how many energy states you can expect? Can you tell how many energy states will be developed? Are you getting my question? So each nuclei you have two energy states, okay. If you have the two different nuclei, they are closer enough, so how many energy states you can expect?
4 energy steps.
4 steps, okay, because they will be influencing one another. So you have each of them will have contribution there. So 4 energy states, and that states I can write as alpha alpha. So one alpha I can take it from nuclei A, another alpha I can take it from X. Now you can have alpha beta. Similarly, you can have beta alpha and beta beta, okay. So these are the 4 steps we can consider, okay. Now if you consider the other fact at equilibrium, So at equilibrium, we'll be looking at the distribution of the nuclei. Okay. Now, before that, let me clarify some points. We'll be considering omega as the transition population. Okay. So this one will be taking as transition population probabilities. So how the transition can happen? Okay, the probabilities. You have omega 0. You have zero quantum transition. Zero quantum transition means you have transition, but the overall spin change you will not find. Okay, so your overall spin change will be 0. So we call it as zero quantum transition. You have single quantum transition. That means you have overall spin change will be 1. So one spin change you will look at. You have double quantum transition. So that means you have 2 spin change you will look at. Okay. So that will be more clear when we'll come to discuss the point. Now, what I am taking as the overall number of nuclei, I am taking as n. Okay, so total number of nuclei is n. And here del, I have considered the excess population in the ground state. Okay, the ground state, because it will always have the excess population in the Boltzmann distribution. Okay, at equilibrium, at room temperature. So excess population. Now, this is your I don't know why the, can I remove this? Okay. So what will happen here? If you look at here, you have the alpha alpha 1 energy state. Here you have alpha beta, beta alpha, and beta beta. Okay, so you have the 4 energy states shown here, and the nuclei we have distributed in such a way that you have 4 energy states. So you have n by 4 nuclei. We are just first distributing. So n by 4 everywhere. If you look at n by 4 here, n by 4 here, n by 4 here, and n by 4 here also. Now excess population you have at the ground state. So ground state will have plus del excess population, excess nuclei you have, and the extreme high energy state, that is beta beta. Okay, you have population will be minus del. Got it? So now if you look at alpha alpha, you have the overall population n by 4 plus delta. Alpha beta, you have n by 4, which is lesser population than the alpha alpha, as well as beta alpha is also lesser population, n by 4, which is less than alpha alpha. Okay. Now if you go for beta beta, you have the population far less, n by 4 minus delta, which is lesser than the alpha beta, as well as far less than alpha alpha. Okay, so this is the population we are talking about. Now the distributions we have done. Always remember, alpha represents the plus half, beta represents the minus half, and the 2 color code that are representing 2 different nuclei. Okay, 2 different nuclei. Here I have taken X or H1H as red color, and the blue color will be the A nuclei or the 13C. Okay. Now you tell me, if I try to do the calculation at this particular equilibrium, the excess population of 13C. So can you tell the excess population of 13C in this case? Let me tell you that when you are considering the excess population of 13C, in regular transition, okay, that is allowed transition is single quantum transition. Okay, the single quantum transition that is allowed if you are irradiating. Okay, to have the transition. But when you have the relaxation, that can take any route. Okay, but when it will jump to have the higher energy state, the nuclei will be involving single transition, okay, or single quantum transition. Now, if you look at here in this diagram, alpha to beta alpha, alpha alpha to beta alpha, okay, this is written, you look at A transition or 13C transition. What we are doing, what we are changing, the blue color alpha is changed to blue color beta, right? So that means we are having the A or 13C is undergoing change or transition. Okay, red color alpha and red color alpha here, both are same. Okay, that means here the proton or the X nuclei, it is not undergoing any change. Okay, so that's why we call this transition as single quantum transition. Okay, similarly, the opposite direction, you have alpha beta and beta beta. So alpha is getting changed to beta, whereas the red color beta is remaining same. Okay, that means proton is not undergoing any change, only the carbon nuclei is undergoing change. Okay, so this is, we call it as single quantum transition. So these two side transitions are responsible for 13C transition. Okay, now if I look at the population, excess population, what I have to do, I have to do consider the alpha alpha, okay, and this one, the differences or the differences between this and this. Okay. So what will be the situation? The excess population, you have alpha alpha minus beta alpha, that will be del. Okay, so similarly you can have alpha beta and beta beta, so that if you subtract, you will have again del. So that means you have excess nuclei for one quantum transition with respect to 13C at equilibrium is del. Okay, is del. Let us look at the excess population with respect to proton. Okay, proton transition or X nuclei transition. So at equilibrium, what will be the transition? What are the states I have to consider? It is the alpha alpha and alpha beta. Okay, if you look at here, alpha blue color and alpha blue color, that two are same. So that means 13C or nuclei A is not undergoing any change, only the proton or the X nuclei is undergoing the change. Okay, so single quantum. So here red color alpha has converted to red color beta. So that is responsible for X transition or proton transition. Similarly, the opposite directional, you have beta alpha to beta beta. Okay, that is also X transition or proton transition. So what will be the excess nuclei? I have to subtract between these two. Okay, or I can subtract between these two. So your excess nuclei with respect to proton at the equilibrium will be alpha alpha minus alpha beta, so that is del, and beta alpha minus beta beta, that is del. So what we have obtained from at equilibrium is that both the proton and the 13C or the X and A nuclei at the equilibrium, you have relatively lower energy state is having excess nuclei equal in this case as del. Okay, as del. Now let us irradiate the X nuclei or the proton nuclei. Okay, so let us do the transition of X while keeping the 13C or the A nuclei to be silent. Okay, Because in proton decoupled 13C, what is our aim? We have to first do the transition. We have to irradiate the proton, okay, to make it to be saturated. Understood? So that's why we are trying to do the transition of the proton nuclei, or X transition we are doing. So we have to irradiate, okay. So we have to irradiate, do the irradiation in that two situation, okay. So when you will do that one, what is your excess nuclei? You have proton excess nuclei is del. So to have the saturation, how much nuclei I have to irradiate? I mean, how much nuclei has to jump to the respectively higher energy state to have the saturation? Can anybody tell? You got the proton excess nuclei is del, right, at the equilibrium. Now our aim is to make saturation. So how many nuclei has to jump to the higher energy state, proton nuclei, to get the saturation? Can you tell? Here, if you look at this distribution.
So the del becomes 0. That much we have to irradiate.
No, you understand. See, you look at this diagram, okay? You have alpha alpha and alpha beta, okay? So these two transition you are doing. So here you are doing the transition from here to here. This is the proton transition. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So you have the del here. Overall population is n by 4 plus del. Here n by 4. So to make this and these two states same number of nuclei, so how many nuclei you have to transfer from here to here? Is del by 2. Yes or no?
Yes, sir, del by 2.
Del by 2 you have to transfer. So if you subtract
Yes,
del
sir.
by 2 from here, and if you add del by 2 here, both will be same, right? And that you can do from here to here also. If you subtract del by 2 here, and if you add del by 2 here, both will be same, right? And if you look at the scenario here, that has happened, okay? So we are irradiating the X or the proton nuclei to make a saturated point, okay? So saturation transition. So we are subtracting del by 2, okay? So del by 2 we are subtracting to achieve this state, okay? So here you are having n by 4 plus del by 2, because initially it was only del. So if you subtract del by 2, it will be del by 2 only. Here it was initially n by 4 only. You are adding del by 2. So now the population become n by 4 plus del by 2. Here what you have, if you look, this is also the same transition, okay? Initially it was n by 4. If you subtract del by 2, so it will be n by 4 minus del by 2. Here you have initially del by n by 4 minus del, okay? If you add del by 2 here, so n by 4 minus del was there initially, okay? What you are doing, you are adding del by 2. So ultimately it will be giving the value, this one, okay? N by 4 minus del by 2. So this is the saturation you have achieved. Now let us look at the excess nuclei. So 13C excess population, you can consider any one or any two, anything. So 13C population, now if you look at 13C population, so these two are responsible for 13C. So 13C, this one transition and this one transition, right? So that two transition are 13C. So what I have to do, I have to subtract that two, right? So alpha alpha minus beta alpha. So now your if you do the subtraction, n by 4 plus del by 2 minus n by 4, then it will be plus del by 2. So ultimately it will be del. Similarly, we will get it from here also. If you do alpha beta, this one minus this one, so you will get the similar value del. So 13C population is not changing, right? It is becoming del only. Now what is the situation for proton? So we made the proton to be saturated. That means proton has to be same population at the ground state as well as the relatively higher state. If you do the calculation, you will get the same value also. So this transition and this transition are the proton transition. Okay. So excess population, if you calculate, so you have to consider alpha alpha. So this one alpha alpha minus alpha beta. So if you do that one, you have the same value, so it will be 0. Similarly, you have here, if you do the calculation, beta alpha minus beta beta, so you have same value. Okay, excess you have same value of population, so that will be 0. So saturation is obtained. Okay, so this is the condition you have developed to do the proton decoupled 13C. Okay, so you have hided the proton excess population. So you know the signal what we obtained in the 13C is due to the excess population, right? So if you don't have the excess population, we will not have the signal, right? So your proton is not having any population, so we will not have any signal due to proton, but you have 13C excess population, right? So we will be able to look at the signal, okay, of the 13C under this condition. Now, when this situation arises, what will happen? The molecule will try to, I mean, the system will try to undergo relaxation. Okay, the system will try to undergo relaxation. Okay, to adjust the change in dipole. Okay, because you have increased the number of population here, okay, than the before it was n by 4, your excited state population was n by 4. Now you have excess population here at the excited state, okay, after saturation. So what we will see, the system will try to adjust itself to attain a new equilibrium by relaxation process. Okay, so let us consider the relaxation to ground state via W omega 2 route. Okay, what is that route? That is two quantum relaxation. Okay, two quantum transition. Now two quantum transition, if you look at in this diagram, which one will be the two quantum transition? Which one will be the two quantum transition? Can you tell here?
Alpha alpha to beta beta.
Alpha alpha and beta beta, they will be involved, right? But your nuclei has already reached to beta beta, it's excited state. Okay, so what relaxation means? It is coming back from beta beta to alpha. Understood?
Beta beta to
Alpha alpha. If you remember at the beginning, I told two quantum excitation is not possible, right? That is, quantum mechanically that transition is not allowed. At the same time, two nuclei, they are changing their transition, I mean spin states in the same directional is not allowed. Okay, but relaxation, I told, that can happen. Okay, so in this case you have excess nuclei at the excited state, so of the 13C. So what we will see is the 13C nuclei will try to undergo relaxation to achieve a new transitional state. Okay, then we can have the 13C NMR. Okay, so let us consider the X amount of nuclei. Okay, so X amount of nuclei is undergoing the two quantum transition from beta beta state to the alpha alpha state. So what I have to do? I have to subtract minus x, right? Here, and I have to add plus x here. Okay, so alpha alpha, I am adding the x, and beta beta, I am subtracting the x. Okay, so beta beta, I am subtracting the x. I have no option for this alpha beta and beta beta transition because that are of single quantum transition, right? If you go for alpha beta to the 13C transition, if I take beta beta to alpha beta, okay, if I consider this transition, that relaxation can happen, but that is not two quantum transition in this particular case. Okay, this is one quantum transition because you are the red color is the same, right? Beta red and beta red, they are same, but only the blue is changing. So you have, this is single quantum transition. So we are not interested now the single quantum, we are interested in double quantum transition. So only possible is you have beta beta is coming to alpha alpha. You have, I have considered minus x amount of nuclei is undergoing the change. So it is converted, is coming down to the alpha alpha state. Okay, it doesn't need extra energy because that is already higher to lower energy state is coming. Okay, it's just decaying, it's just coming back. Okay, now if I calculate the excess energy, I mean excess population, so to have the signal, what we will have to do at the equilibrium, what is the excess population you have, that you have to consider, and based on that your signal will be coming. So we have told that the x amount of nuclei is coming down to the alpha alpha state from the beta beta state to have a new equilibrium state. Okay, now at this equilibrium state, what will be the excess nuclei of the carbon? We are not changing any nuclei of the proton, so proton will be still saturated, but what will be the excess nuclei of the 13C? So excess nuclei, if I do the calculation, I have to do the calculation alpha alpha minus beta beta. Okay, so what you are getting is, if you subtract that population, what you will have, this is n by 4 minus plus del by 2 plus x minus n by 4. So n by 4 is omitting, so plus del by 2. Now del by 2 is becoming into 2 by, that means you have del, and now minus x is becoming plus x. So if you just subtract that 2, you will be getting, this is the value. Okay, so what we have, we are finding here, the enhancement of signal intensity will be seen. Why? If you look at before the situation, you have the excess nuclei to the carbon 13C was del, right? And after new equilibrium achieved, what we are finding, the excess nuclei is del plus 2x. So your excess nuclei at the ground state has increased to 2x amount. Okay, so that means you have excess nuclei more after this 2 quantum transition. Okay, and that's why you will have enhancement in the signal intensity. So you got the point? Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so if you have any doubt, you tell. Okay, now I'll be moving to look at another transition. Okay, I mean the relaxation. So relaxation, I told any route it can take. It can take 2 quantum relaxation. It can take 1 quantum relaxation. It can take 0 quantum relaxation. Okay, so 2 quantum relaxation, we are looking at the excess nuclei will be increased than before. Okay, for 13C at the ground state, that is 2 quantum transition. So that will be definitely helping for the enhancement of the peak. Okay, now let us consider the relaxation via zero quantum transition. Okay, zero quantum transition, if it is relaxing, what is going to happen? Okay, so zero quantum transition means, so alpha beta is changing beta alpha. Okay, alpha beta is changing to beta alpha. Now if you look at here, both the 13C, alpha is coming to beta, and the proton nuclei, beta is coming to alpha. Both the nuclei is changing. Okay, getting? Now we are calling this change as omega 0, zero quantum transition, because your change is happening in opposite directional. Opposite directional means you have alpha is coming to beta, means lower energy state of the carbon is going to higher energy state, and higher energy state proton beta is coming to alpha of the proton, means the lower energy of the proton. Okay, so two opposite directional transition is happening here, so that's why they are cancelling, so we are telling this zero quantum transition. Okay, now in this case, if the relaxation is happening in that way, okay, what we can tell is the x amount of nuclei, suppose from here, is coming to this state. So alpha beta, from alpha beta it is coming to beta alpha, okay, state. I am considering minus x here because the x amount of nuclei I have considered underwent to the relaxation, okay, underwent relaxation to the state beta alpha. So I have to subtract here minus x, I have to add here plus x. Okay, now let us look at the excess population. So 13C excess population, what is going to happen? I have to subtract then alpha beta minus beta alpha. So that will be coming as del minus 2x. Okay, that will be coming as del minus 2x. So initially, what was the difference between that two states? Initially, there was no change, right? So it was initially n by 4 plus del by 2 minus n by 4 plus del by 2. So it was initially del. Okay, initially excess population was del. If you subtract, if you don't consider this minus x is going to here, so you have initial excess population del. Now your population is coming to minus 2x. Okay, del minus 2x. So if that is the situation, your excess population is decreasing from the previous situation. Okay, what is going to happen? If your excess population is decreasing, your peak height will be decreasing. Okay, so decrease of signal intensity will be observed. Okay, so zero quantum transition, you will have the decrease in signal intensity. Okay, so your 13C signal will be coming shorter. Okay, your height will be less. Understood this one?
Yes, sir.
If you have anything, you just need to tell me if you are not getting. So that's why if you look at here, I have written nuclear Robertshauser effect. Okay, it doesn't mean always you have enhancement. Enhancement will be happening when you have W2 transition, okay, or omega 2 transition. Okay, but if your situation is, if you have certain nuclei which prefers to have the W0 transition, okay, in that case we will not have the peak enhancement, rather you will have peak depression. Okay, so peak height will be decreasing. Getting? Is it clear now? So I'll come to another type of discussion to make you more clear this fact. Okay, in terms of exact, I mean the number of nuclei. Okay, Here, I'll just explain the first one. I think the time is about to end. So we'll be continuing this class tomorrow also. Tomorrow you'll have the overall picture of this understanding nuclear overhouse effect. But till so far, I think you have some idea. Okay. Let us consider at equilibrium two nuclei, X and A. Okay. So you consider A as 13C and X as proton. At a situation, here if you look at number of nuclei I have considered. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have bottom, you have 5, 6. So alpha, you have 6 nuclei of 13C. You have 2 nuclei at the beta state. Okay. For proton also I have taken the same. You have 6 here nuclei at the ground state, alpha state, and 2 nuclei at the beta state. Okay. This is the Boltzmann distribution at room temperature. Okay. If you apply just the magnetic field, you are not irradiating yet. Okay. Now, if you just irradiate, what you will see the NMR signal. NMR signal you'll be gaining. You'll be getting for individual nuclei. You have both nuclei have excess amount of the ground state is 4. So peak height, say suppose I'm just taking as 4. Okay. So A will have a peak height of this, B will have X will have a peak height of this. So this is the NMR signaling, and this is at equilibrium distribution. Now, if you allow the X irradiation, okay, in such a way that the equilibrium, the saturation is obtained. So what you are doing, you are X irradiating, nucleus you are irradiating to have the saturation. So to have saturation, how many nuclei I have to move from here to here? Can anybody tell? Quickly. To have the saturation, how many nuclei I have to move from here to here?
2, sir.
2 nuclei, right?
Yes.
2 nuclei. So that is the case. So you have now beta state 4 nuclei, here alpha state 4 nuclei for X. Okay. Your A is having the nuclei distribution as before, because you are not influencing A. You are just quickly irradiating X to have the saturation. Okay. Now at this point, how the signal will come, NMR signal. So I will see the signal only for A, because you have the excess nuclei having for A 4. Okay. And here you have X is 0, so we will not have any signal. So that is we are calling as the saturation. Did you get the point? Okay. So this is proton decoupled 13C. Okay. So I have made the X to be saturated. So I have only signal due to A, because you have the excess nuclei A. Okay, 4. So that's why I'll have the number signal for 13C here. Okay. So we'll look into the next class from here. We'll consider the different relaxation. Okay. From this saturation state, to understand what relaxation will be influencing what. Okay. What type of signaling will be gaining, okay, from this relaxation route. So what are the different relaxation you have? You have 2 quantum relaxation, you have 1 quantum relaxation, you have 0 quantum relaxation, and we'll be discussing those part in the next class tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be also having some application of this nuclear Oberhauser effect. Okay. So for structure determining of the organic molecule. Okay. You just need to go through the slide I'll be sharing. So just go through once. It will be helping you. So if you have any queries, just 1-2 minutes, you can ask me, then we'll be quitting. Any queries if you have understanding. One question maybe. So can you, do you have any problem? It's difficult to understand.
Sir, why sir two nuclei are X radiation are jumping?
No, our aim is to, we have to think what is your aim. Your aim is to get the signal under proton decoupled 13C condition, right? So
Yes, sir.
you are having the 13C spectrum, proton decoupled 13C. Okay. Now to do proton decoupled 13C, what you have to do, I told you have to hide the proton. How you can hide the proton? You can hide the proton by quick saturation achievement, okay, of the proton nuclei. Understood?
Yes.
So
Yes,
if you do the saturation of proton nuclei, what you have to do? You have to externally, different way, you have to do the irradiation to the proton nuclei, so that proton nuclei can quickly undergo saturation, while you will not have any irradiation right now on the 13C nuclei. Okay.
Yes.
So before irradiation, you have, this is the distribution. Your proton has ground state 6, excited state 2. Okay. Now if you quickly try to make it saturation from ground state to the excited state, so you have to, how many excess nuclei you have? 4 nuclei. So 2 nuclei have to jump from ground to excited state. So your excited state will have 4. Okay, so 4 nuclei now, and ground also have 4 nuclei.
4.
So now it is achieving the saturation, right? So 4 minus 4 is 0. So that means there is no excess nuclei at the ground. Both the ground and excited states are having the same number of nuclei. So it underwent saturation. Okay, so proton is saturated now. Understood? So your,
Yes, sir.
now what you are doing after achievement of this saturation, you are irradiating the 13C to have the signal. So now 13C is having 4 nuclei, so it will slowly jump from here to here, okay, to give your signal. So number of, and that signal depends on how many excess nuclei you have. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you have excess nuclei 4. So here I have just taken 4 as the peak height. Okay. You can take any value here. Okay. Just for understanding, not to confuse, I'm just keeping 4 as 4. Okay. It indicates you have a fixed value which was there at the beginning before the irradiation of the X. Okay. So before irradiation, what was your peak height? 4 for 30C, right? And after X irradiation, you have peak height 4. So your peak height is not changing. The peak height of 13C is remaining the same. Okay. While you are not having any peak or any influence of the X right now. Okay. Your peak height is the same. Understood? We are not considering the relaxation yet. So we will see the relaxation, okay, to understand the influence of relaxation under different routes, okay, on the peak height of the 13C. So tomorrow I will be discussing that part, and we'll also consider some of the application.